So one of the defining features of my cottage garden out here in the country is the winding gravel pathways, which effectively sort of weave in and out of the different flower beds. And when I posted about this before on places like Instagram and TikTok, I've had a lot of people sort of ask me, how did I create these pathways? What did I do? What did I use? What was the whole process like? And that's what I'm going to be explaining here in this video. Now, I don't have full video footage of when I actually created them, but I do have lots of pictures. So I'm going to be overlaying them as I talk about the transformation and how these pathways came together. So hopefully if you want to do something similar in your own garden, you can give it a try. So let's jump right into this, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. If you love gardening content, we're currently trying to reach 4,000 subscribers, and I'd love to have you as a part of the channel. So the pathway journey effectively began here with this flower bed, and it was a lot smaller at the time actually. In fact, it was just a little circle, almost like a perfect sort of oval kind of shape where I had my herbs. I wanted a little herb garden when we just moved in. Now keep in mind, all of this was grass, so it wasn't just this section over here in the garden, it was everything. Where I'm standing right now was completely a lawn. So yeah, we dug out the flower beds, and effectively what happened is, originally, when we were working on this garden and we were starting to come up with ideas, we had little stepping stones placed down. The stepping stones were placed so you could sort of walk from place to place in the garden. However, we quickly realized that this wasn't the best way of getting around, and it looked a little bit awkward as well. I do like the stepping stone style, but it didn't really work out for us. So eventually what I decided to do was to dig out these pathways that you see now around the flower beds. And at the time, the garden had a very different layout. The flower beds were all kind of concentrated in the middle, so the pathways sort of went around like that. And that's basically how it started. Now, a lot of those pathways aren't even here anymore. They've moved around. This one is still here. This one is still completely here, so that one's original. But yeah, most others have moved around. But effectively, what I did is I got my half moon shovel and I started digging out sort of curved lines around the flower beds. And as you can see in my garden now, all of these pathways sort of weave around the edges of the flower beds. They're not straight lines, they curve to keep things nice and interesting and cottagey, shall we say. We decided to use gravel rather than anything else. It just seemed like the most cost-effective option. And what we did is, underneath, once we dug out all the turf and sort of moved that away, we sort of lined it with this weed membrane, which was pretty helpful. That kind of mostly stopped any of the really big, serious weeds from coming through, which is definitely good. We did also lay sand underneath this pathway originally. I can't remember what my logic was for doing that. I think I'd seen a few other people say that's something you should do. Personally, I wouldn't do that again though, because what I learned is sand is actually a good breeding ground for weeds. So probably not the best idea. But from these pictures that I'm overlaying, you can kind of see what it looked like when it was being dug out. Now, when it came to the start of 2025, I decided to completely change the garden layout. I decided that this section of my garden was going to be for perennials, and this section was just going to be a nice sort of basic lawn. So what I did is I basically created new flower beds and I weaved the new pathways around them. I did dig out some new pathways that would go to places like the shed, so that, you know, we had easy access, places over to the patio, for example. That was my main goal. I thought all the pathways should go somewhere important. Obviously this one leads you into the perennial garden, this one leads you out, and then these two here lead you onto the patio. And honestly, the flower beds and their size kind of came about around the pathways ultimately. The way I wanted the pathways to go, the flower beds ended up kind of, let's say they sort of joined together, I guess, to create unison. I don't know really the right word for it, but that's effectively what happened. Later on in the year, I did also replace all this original gravel with Kelkay golden gravel. I've had a lot of people ask me what one I used, and that's the one. It's pretty good, yeah. I mean, I will admit it has lost its color a lot. It's not exactly the best sort of day to really show this because it's kind of the evening time now, so it's not really catching the sun. But yeah, it's still a good gravel. I would recommend it. However, I think any sort of golden gravel would do. I'm using the very, well, I don't know if it's exactly the smallest, but it's pretty much the standard gravel size. I'm not using the bigger one that you use for driveways, just because it's not really my style. Now, of course, there are a few problems with this that you probably have noticed throughout this video, and that's like, yes, this gravel does go everywhere. It goes into the flower beds, which is really frustrating. It comes into your house. It just goes everywhere that it shouldn't. And this is very true. This is why a lot of people use that crushed gravel instead, where you compact it down, and that's great. However, I like the gravel. I don't have an issue with it, aside from what I mentioned. And that brings me to the next sort of part in our pathway journey. The next part will be to add some Corten steel edging around it all, and that's going to be happening later this month. I'm not doing that myself because it would drive me mad. So I'm getting someone else to do it, a professional, which is, yeah, it's strange to let someone else in your garden do work when you've kind of created it all, but sometimes that is for the best. You know, sometimes you have to admit defeat, I guess. But yes, effectively, this Corten steel edging is going to weave around the edge of all of this, keeping the dirt in from the flower beds and also keeping the gravel in. Also means that if I wanted to, I can kind of raise the level of the gravel a little bit, which might be good because it does dip in some places. The more you sort of walk on it, the more it'll dip in the middle and kind of go out to the edges. So yeah, I think having the steel edging is something I would absolutely recommend. If you can't do steel edging, then there are of course other options. There are cheaper ones than Corten, for example, but there is wooden edging. You could also use stones. In fact, I know a great channel on here called the Perennial Garden, who created their sort of edging using stones they dug up from their garden. I mean, to be fair, they're very impressive stones, but you know, you can do that sort of thing. So yeah, there are lots of options to create edging, but I do recommend you have edging. I do like the style like this. I think it's a bit more natural, and I've seen a lot of sort of Chelsea flower show gardens use this sort of style. But I do think there's a reason why edging exists. It's not just for looks, it does keep this gravel in. And yeah, it'll keep everything a lot more uniform as well. Another problem I did have is during the winter time, you know, just due to winter activity, storms, all kinds of different things, the pathway shapes had changed. So I really, if I wanted to keep this cool sort of weaved shape that I've got, I had to go around and kind of adjust a little bit. So I think having that edging will be really important. Now, in terms of the cost, I think I wouldn't like to give an exact number, but I do think you can do this fairly cheap. The edging would genuinely be the most expensive part if you are buying that from scratch. You know, you're not like finding the edging. The gravel itself, I can't remember how many bags. I mean, I bought a bulk bag to do this, and I also had to use a few extra ones. If you're like looking at a garden size like mine, not too big. I mean, quite a few of you on this channel call it a small garden. Here in the UK, I'd actually say this is probably just your average garden size. It's not really a small garden here in the UK, but it's not a big one either. Then yeah, I think maybe a bulk bag or two will kind of fill up this sort of section of pathways. It also depends, of course, on how many pathways you're creating. You might not have this whole side of the garden done like this, like I've decided to do. You might instead decide to do, you know, just a little bit and have some pathways going to maybe a few places, in which case it could be a lot cheaper. But definitely, you know, I would say at least get a bulk bag regardless of what you're doing, especially if you can find uses for it in other places as well. You don't really want to do all the work and then not have enough, and you know, it'd look a bit silly, I guess, if you've not got it filled out. You'll also need to purchase yourself a half moon shovel. This is much better for digging out turf and turning it around, you know, than anything else. So definitely get yourself one of those. I know a lot of people don't like, I know there's a lot of people who are no dig in their gardens. It might be kind of difficult to make these if you are, although you could do it by maybe putting down, say, some cardboard to kill the grass underneath, and then putting your, or you could even not even do that. You could just put the weed membrane on top of the grass, then put the gravel on top of that. However, I did find that to create a more sort of solid structure, one that can be a bit deeper, I did need to dig away the turf. However, I decided to reuse that turf, and I ended up using most of it over on this section of lawn to kind of repair it once I'd moved things around. So it didn't really go to waste, you know. I did have to dig it up, obviously, but it didn't end up going to waste. I did use it in different places in the garden. So yeah, I hope you found this video useful. It was a little bit scatterbrained, but I did do this such a long time ago now. I mean, this started back in 2024 and finalized effectively in very early 2025. But I've had so many people ask about this on the different platforms, so I thought it'd be a good idea to make a more detailed video about everything I did and what sort of materials I used specifically. So yeah, I hope you found this useful. I really appreciate you stopping by, and don't forget to subscribe if you love gardening.